Chapter 8.3 Factoring polynomial of the form. Okay, this is a trinomial, and this trinomial is a quadratic, x squared. The first term is x squared, the second term is x, and the last term is constant. So when we factor this trinomial, we will use the same method that we learned in the previous section. So we will keep using the same method. So make sure the trinomial is written in order so that the first term will be the largest exponent term, so x squared term, and the second term will be x, and the last is the constant. So if the order is correct, then find the pair of two factors so that the product is the first one. So 3x squared is always, x squared is always x times x times x, and 3 is 1 times 3. So you can write it as 3x squared is equal to x times 3x, and 12 is 2 times 4 or 4 times 2 or 6 times 2, right? There are many possibilities, many pairs, so that each pair is a product of two factors. So let's try this time 6 times 2. It can be 2 times 6 or 6 times 2. So let's try 6 times 2. Then the cross multiply is 3 times 6 is 18x, and this cross multiply is 2x, then the sum is 20x. So if the sum is same as the second term, then we found a match. So this will be the product of the first term and the product of the first line and the second line. So the answer is x plus 6 times 3x plus 2. Okay, that's the answer. But what if we use different combination for 12, like 6 times 2, instead of using 6 times 2, use 4 times 3. Okay, let's try that one. So if we use, the first one is x times 3x. If we use 4 times 3 as product is 12, the product is 12, so 4 times 3 is 12, and the cross multiply is 12x, and 3 times x, then the sum is 15x. Now this sum is different from the second term, so this is not right. So this is not the right combination, 3 times 4. So we have to try, if a pair is not working, then try different combination, until we have the match. So this may take time, but you can try. So if you try many questions, then you can find the match very easily. So let's try another example. Okay, for this problem 1, okay, let's factor this trinomial. The first one is x squared, the second is x, and the constant. So this is the right order, and there's no common factor. So let's find a pair. So 6 can be a 2 times 3. So this can be a product of 2x and 3x. Now actually 2x and 3x does not work, but let's try this, and let me show that this is not working. Then we can try different pair. So 2x times 3x, then 5 is 1 times 5, and the cross multiply is 3x. This one is 10x. The sum is 13x. Even you put both negative sign, this is negative 13x. So this is not working. How about switching this 1 and 5? Okay, let's switch 1 and 5. So 2x, 3x, the 1 and 5. So, 1 and 5. So this will be 5 times 1 and both negative, so that the product is positive. Then this cross multiply will be negative 15x. This product will be negative 2x. The sum is negative 17x, which is also different from the second term. So this is not right. So this is not working, this is not working. So we tried all the possibilities for this number 5. So since all the pairs of this 5 is not working, so let's try finding different pair of this 6x squared. So we can try, 6 can be 1 times 6. So why don't we make it x times 6x? X times 6x is still 11x, still 6x. And then 5 is, okay, we can try 1 times 5. 1 times 5. Okay, now this should work, but let's try 5 times 1 first. Okay, 5 times 1. Then make it both negative so that the sum will be negative. So negative 5 times negative 1 is still 5. So this is okay. Both negative is okay. So multiply this, then this will be negative. Oh my god, 30x. It's a lot, huh? And then this is negative x, then the sum is negative 31x, which is different from the second term. So 5x is not working. 5 and 1 is not working. So this is not the right pair. So finally we can try this. X times 6x, and then 1 times 5, both negative. So that the product is negative. So the sum will be negative, and the product is positive. Then this will be negative 6x. This is negative 5x. The sum is negative 11x. Bingo, we found a match. So 6x squared must be x times 6x. The 5 is negative 1 times negative 5. So the binomials are the first line and the second line. So you can write the answer. So this is equal to x minus 1 times 6x minus 5. Okay, we tried 3 different pairs and they all didn't work. So we found a match until, we found some pairs until there are matches. So finally we got the match, right? So you can try this method until there is a match. Right combination. So let's try different example. Okay, from this example 2, okay, let's find a pair for the first term. So why don't we try 2x times 3x? Okay, if this pair does not work, then we can try 1 times x. And the last term is negative 6. So negative 6 is a product of 2 times 3 or 3 times 2. So why don't we try 3 times 2 this time, and then one of them has to be negative because the product has to be negative 6. So why don't we put the negative sign on the larger number, because when you make a sum, we must have the negative. So 3 times negative 3 is negative 3. 3 times 3 is larger than 2 times 4, 2 times 2, which is 4. So we put the negative sign on 3. So 3 times 3 is negative 9. 2 times 2 is positive 4. The sum will be negative. Okay. Let me write down x. So 5x. So we got the match. The result of these two cross multiply is negative 5x, which is same as the second term. So the answer will be the expression in the first line and the expression in the second line. So this is equal to 2x minus 3 times 3x plus 2. Okay, you have to keep try this. I used negative 3 times 2. If you use 2 times 3, then this will not work. Then you can switch this. Okay, try another example. Okay, for problem number 2, okay, 8x squared. So 8 is 2 times 4, so we can try 2x times 4x. 2x times 4x first. If this does not work, we can try 1 times 8. Okay, 15 is 3 times 5, or 5 times 3. So let's try this 3 times 5. If it does not work, then we can try 5 times 3. And then one of them has to be negative sign. The product is negative, so we've got to put the negative sign. So that, where can we put the negative sign? So this is 12, this is 10, so put the negative sign on the smaller number. So the result will be positive. Then this product will be 12x. This product is negative 10x. The sum is 2x, which is different. So this is not the right pair. 3 and negative 5 is no good. So why don't we switch these two? So 2x times 4x. The 5 times 3. 5 times 3 is 15, and the negative sign should be on 3 because this is 20x, which is larger than negative 6. So this product will be 20x, and this product is negative 6x. Then the sum is positive 14x. Bingo, we found the match. So 14 is same as the term in the middle, the second term. So the trinomial is a product of the expression in the first line and the second line. So this is equal to 2x plus 5, 4x minus 3. For this example 3, look at the order of the trinomial. Okay, we're supposed to have x squared first, but this is okay. If the constant comes first and the x squared is on the third term, then still okay. The order is fine. So we can keep this order so that 15 will be a product of 3 times 5. And negative x squared is x times x, and the negative sign goes on top because the result has to be negative. So negative x times x is negative x squared, and the cross multiply is negative 5x. This cross multiply is 3x. So the sum is negative 2x, which is same as the second term. Same as the second term, minus. So this is the product of the first line and the second line. 3 minus x times 5 plus x. Okay, problem 3 is same. The order is okay because the constant comes first and the third term is y squared. And 24 is 3 times 8. Or it can be 3 times 8, or it can be 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. And negative y squared is y times y. And then we got to put the negative sign on either the top or bottom one. So let's put the negative sign on the top. So that the cross multiply is negative 6y and 4y. So that the sum will be negative 2y. So we found the match because negative 2y is same as the term in the middle. So that this will be the product of these two. So that will be equal to 4 minus y times 6 minus 6 plus y. Okay, in exercise example 4. Okay, this is trinomial. The first step is to factor out the GCF. Always factor out the GCF. So from this, the common factor will be, the greatest common factor will be, how about the numbers? Number, no, the number is, we cannot find a common factor from the number, but x is a common factor. So you can factor out x. So this is equal to, factor out x, then the parenthesis will be 3x squared minus 23x plus 14. Okay, from this trinomial, let's find the right pairs. So the first term is x times 3x. And the 14 will be, it can be 2 times 7 or 7 times 2. So why don't we try 7 times 2? And then the result has to be negative. So why don't we put both negative? Because negative times negative is positive. So negative 7 times negative 2 is 14, positive 14. Then this cross multiply is negative 21x. This cross multiply is negative 2x. So that the sum is negative 23x. Bingo. Found the match. So negative 23x is same as the second term. So this will be the product of the expression in the first line and the expression in the second line. So don't forget this x, common factor x. So x times x minus 7, 3x minus 2. Done. Alright, from this problem 4, let's factor out the GCF. The GCF is okay, 4, 2. For the numbers, yes, 2 is the common factor. How about a's? Yes, a squared appears, occurs on all these three terms. How about b? No. So the common factor is 2a squared. So we can factor out 2a squared from each term. So that will be equal to 2a squared out, so 2b squared minus 2 times 15 is 30, a squared out, so b, plus 2 times 7 is 14, and a squared out. So we have a parenthesis, a trinomial in the parenthesis. So from this, let's factor this trinomial if it's factorable. So 2b squared is equal to b times 2b, and 7 is 7 times 1. Okay, 7 is 7 times 1 or 1 times 7. So let's try 7 times 1 because 2 times 7 is large number. Okay, anyway, you can put both negative because the sum of the results cross multiply has to be negative. Then this will be negative 14b. This product is negative b. So that the sum is negative 15b. So we found the right pair. So negative 15b is same as the second term. So this is the product of these two. So that equals 2a squared b minus 7 2b minus 1. Example 5. Let's use the same method. So the first term is 2 is 1 times 2. So it will be x times 2x. And 10 is 10 times 1. It can be 10 times 1 or 2 times 5 or 1 times 10. So let's try 10 times 1. And then one of them has to be negative because the result has to be negative 10. So why don't we put the negative sign on 1? Because the sum of the cross multiply has to be positive. The second term is positive. So this cross multiply is 20x. This cross multiply is negative x. The sum is 19x. So we found the match. 19x and the second term. So this will be the product of these two terms. These two binomials. X plus 10 to x minus 1. Okay, for the problem number 5, 2a squared is 8 times. There's no common factor, so we can just use our method. 8 times 2a. 7 is 7 times 1. We have to put negative sign, so the product has to be negative. So put the negative sign on either 7 or 1, but 1 is the right place. Then this product is 14a. This product is negative a. The sum is positive 13a. So we got the match. So this will be the same as, this will be the product of two factors, two binomials. So this is equal to a plus 7 to a minus 1. Example 6. Okay, the trinomial is written in the right order. So 8 can be 2 times 4 or 1 times 8. So why don't we try 2 times 4 first? So 2y times 4y. If this is not working, then we can change it to, we can try 1 times 8. Okay, 3 is 3 times 1 or 1 times 3. So let's try 3 times 1. And then the product has to be minus, negative. So put the negative sign. This time, let me put it on 3. So that the reason is that the result has to be negative. So the cross multiply must have the larger number. So the larger number of the cross multiply has to be negative. That's why I put the negative sign on 3. So 3 times 4 is negative 12y, and this is 2y. The sum is negative 10y. So we found the match again, negative 10y. So this is the product of two binomials. So the trinomial is a product of the expression in the first line and the expression in the second line. For this problem 6, okay, we can try 1 times 4, 2 times 2. So 4 can be 2 times 2 or 1 times 4. Okay, this time let me use 1 times 4. So 8 times 4a. So this product is 4a squared. And 3 is 3 times 1 or 1 times 3. So let's try 3 times 1. And minus sign, the negative sign goes on 3. And it can be negative sign goes on 1. You can try, but it may not work. So I'll put negative negative sign on the number 3. So the product is negative 12a. This product is positive a. So sum is negative 11a. Bingo, right? So if you switch the negative sign, then the sign will be positive 11a. So since positive 11a is not the same as the second term, you revert the sign. So the negative sign must go on 3. So this is the product of these two binomials. So equals a minus 3 4a plus 1. Example 7, okay, this trinomial contains common factor. So if there's a common factor, always factor it out first before you do, before you use any method. So in this case, the greatest common factor, comes from the number. So 24, 76, 40. So which can divide these three numbers? The largest number will be 4. Okay, 4 can divide all these three numbers, even 2, but 2 is less than 4. So the greatest common factor will be 4. How about the variable x? No. How about y? Yes. So y occurs on all these three terms. So 4y is the common factor. So take 4y out. Then this trinomial is equal to 4y times 4 times 6 is 24, and 1y out, so y squared left over. Then minus 76 is 4 times 19, right? 19. So 4 times 19 is 76. And then x is the leftover, y factored out. Plus 40 is 4 times 10, y is factored out. So we have trinomial in the parentheses. So let's find the factor so that we can factor it out. So 3x squared is 6x squared is, let's try 3x times 2x. 3x times 2x, so that is 6x. If this does not work, we can try different match. Okay, 10 is 2 times 5 or 5 times 2. Okay, let's try 2 times 5. Then we can put both negative because the result has been negative. So both negative still okay because the product will be positive 10. And this product is negative 4x. This product is negative 15x, and the sum is negative 19x. Bingo, we found the match. So since the result, the sum of the cross multiply is the same as the second term, multiply these two binomials. So the result will be 4y is the common factor multiplied by two binomials, the first line and the expression in the second line. For this problem, number 7. Okay, let's find the common factor, greatest common factor. So the number, okay, 3 is not. How about 5? Yes, 5 is a common factor. How about x? Yes, x occurs on all of these three, so x is a common factor. So greatest common factor will be 5x. So let's factor out 5x from this trinomial. Then 5 times 3 is 15, x squared, 1x out, so x squared, plus 5 times 8 is 40, and then 1x out, so 1x left. And then 80 is 5 times 16, that is 80, so x out, so minus 16. So from this trinomial, let's find the match. So the first term is x times 3x. 16 is 4 times 4. You can try 4 times 4 or 2 times 2. Actually, 16 is 4 times 4 or 2 times 8 or 8 times 2, and put the negative sign on either side. Or you can try 1 times 16 or 16 times 1. There are many pairs, so in this case, let's try 4 times 4. 4 times 4, and then put the negative sign on either top or bottom. So this time I will put it on the bottom. Then this will be equal to 12x. This product is negative 4x. So the sum is 8x. We found the match. So 8x is same as the second term. So this will be the product of two binomials. 5x times x plus 4 and 3x minus 4. Okay, so in this case, when you try this method, always there are many pairs like this, many pairs, so that you can, if a pair is not working, then try different pair, always. So there you have to try, you have to keep try until you get the right pair. So if a trinomial is factorable under these integers, then there is a factor always.